Troy Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
This is Troy Galloway, your humble host, owner of Galloway Building Services. Hey, just like this show, we're one of a kind. There isn't another company that provides the unique services we do every day for folks throughout the Midwest. We help folks with construction consulting. If you have any questions about your job, if it's being done right or not, you want to make sure before you pay them that you're getting what you paid for, you give us a call. We do new construction inspections, whether it be remodel or a brand new home or a room addition. We do commercial and residential inspections, which that means if you're buying, selling our home or a business, you give us a call. We make sure that you know exactly what it is that you're buying, as well as we do conflict resolution and expert witnessing if you need any litigation work. Heaven forbid that comes down to it, but sometimes you just need an expert in your corner to make sure that whatever you're saying is absolutely right. We have over 42 years in the business, and our motto is that we make sure you're getting what you paid for, the job is being done right, and you're not getting ripped off. That's Galloway Building Services, and the phone number is 314-520-6655. I'm really excited today to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Rick Hinkson of Eureka Contracting and Roofing, and he's been around for a long time. He's going to educate us on roofing today. We'll drag him back on other subjects because I know he does a lot more than that, but he does a great job of roofing, and I've been trying to get him in here for quite a bit. Now we got him. He's locked in. And away we go. Hey, Rick, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you, Troy. And first, a big shout-out to Galloway Services. I appreciate the work you've done for us in the past. You guys are on time, on point. All the reports were done expeditiously, and we appreciate that. So did our customers. Thank you.
Well, that's great. Thank you for that. That's very kind of you. Well, Rick, tell us a little bit about your company. Tell us about how long you've been in business and what your focus is. I know you do more than roofing, but, tell us what all that you guys do.
At Eureka Contracting and Roofing, the majority of our work is definitely roofs, but we get involved as well doing soffit fascia, some siding in there, windows if needed. We'll do anything on the outside of the building, some interior painting if needed. If you get a small leak, we can take care of that as well. But our bread and butter is mostly residential and commercial roofing.
Ah, great. Well, let me ask you, how long y'all been in business?
I've been in business for 7.5 years. I've been in this business for over 35 years.
And hey, I want to give a shout out too, because he's also a veteran, Navy veteran. So he's not going to brag on himself, but I will. So thank you for your service. And hey, so why did you choose to go into roofing? Or your industry? Why roofing, though, in particular?
My whole family's construction. We've been in the construction industry for forever. My uncle actually started the construction training school in St. Louis.
Oh, really?
We just kind of followed the steps. It was what I've worked in for the insurance companies as an adjuster on 13 different hurricanes and several catastrophes throughout the country. And just kind of compiled all that together and started my company up.
Now, does your company go do any kind of disaster work outside of the area?
No, we don't travel. We did enough. I did enough of that in the past. So no, all our work is here local. We try to stay within 50 miles or so of Eureka, Missouri.
Oh, that's great. Well, but now if they was to be a big commercial project or something, because this show airs all over the Midwest, would you, if it was a big enough job, would that be something you guys be interested in?
Absolutely.
Good. Folks, write that down because I want to make sure you give him and Rick a call. So anyway, let's just jump right into this, Rick, to the meat and taters of roofing. And so help me out here, help the folks out here, the different types of roofing systems that are for sloped roofing. Folks, that means, I know Rick knows what that means, but for like gables or shed roofs and such, and I know there's a wide variety of different products out there, and it's very confusing on what they should or should not get.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to get on your steep slope roofs. I said, the majority of that's going to be a shingled roof. We'll get into some of the metals. Metal roof, your standing seam and your exposed fasteners. But we rely heavily on the shingle portion of it. You get into your shingle roof, you're looking at your architectural shingles or your 3-tab shingles. Definitely you want to go with the architectural shingle. It's a better shingle. It's engineered better. You get a better warranty with it. And it looks good when you're done.
You know, one of the questions I get asked a lot when I do my inspections is, how can you tell the difference? Now, I know, but help the folks out. How can they tell the difference between an architectural shingle versus a 3-tab?
If you're looking up at your roof line, you'll see individual shingles or individual tabs, and you'll see lines. We call them a gutter line running up the shingle. Those are going to be your 3-tab shingles. A 3-tab shingle is 3 tabs in one shingle. It's 3 feet long. Your architectural, there's no definitive lines. Everything is just kind of like a cedar shake roof is what it looks like. But
a lot prettier too.
It's a lot prettier. It's a lot better roof. That's from a 25-year warranty on a 3-tab shingle. You get a limited lifetime warranty on an architectural shingle.
Limited lifetime warranty. What does that exactly mean?
A limited lifetime warranty is that they will warrant the shingle for a limited lifetime period, but they base that on a 50-year lifespan of the shingle itself. And out of that 50 years, they'll do the material and labor for the first 15 years if something goes wrong with the shingle. After that, they'll depreciate the value of a shingle based on a 50-year lifespan, but never go less than 20% of the value of the shingle. And that's what makes it the limited lifetime.
Yeah, well, you know, I see a lot more. I mean, from a installer point of view, I hear that the installers like the architectural shingles better. How do you feel about that?
I agree 100%. It's a lot easier to put an architectural shingle down than it is a 3-tab shingle. If you're putting a 3-tab shingle, you have to have a parallel line where you have to have a parallel line, plus you also have vertical and horizontal lines that you have to line up. With an architectural shingle, we'll snap a line every 22 inches and bring the shingle up to that line in the 22 inches. So you don't have to be exact, but you still have to be straight.
Which one holds? We're going to go to the nail versus staple thing in just a second. But which shingle holds the fasteners, whether it be nail or staple? Which shingle do you think holds it better? You know, because we see nail pops a lot on the 3-tabs. Is that normal?
Pretty much. You know, what happens is that when the roof gets hot, the nail will expand faster than the shingle itself and push itself up. That creates the nail pops on there. If you have 2 layers of shingles, it's real evident that happens. But when you're getting on, your Owens Corning has a nail strip. That they started the process where they put a reinforced nail strip on the back of the shingle that you shoot through. Mm-hmm. And all the other shingle manufacturers have kind of followed that, picked that up as well.
So what do you like better? Help us with that. The nail versus staple debate.
Oh, yeah, I got to have nails.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
And don't hand nail.
I agree, Joe.
Yeah, we don't want to hand nail. The hand nail, the nails are different now. They're real smooth. And with a hand nail, you can almost pull that nail out.
Really? Wow.
When you shoot the nail down, it has it's kind of like a machine gun belt where each nail is held in place by 2 wires. And so when that nail shoots, you have those 4 barbs, 2 on each side of the nail, that bite into that plywood.
Oh, there. Now, you know, we see a lot of this different type of underlayment out there, and I've asked around because I knew people was getting ready to have this. Was going to have you on the show here, and one of the questions I'm getting asked is that we see it used to be all black paper up there, felt paper, but we're seeing different products up there now. What is that all about?
Yeah, it used to be the everything you'd have is 15 or 30 pound felt. Mm-hmm. It would go on there, and that's a felt paper. When you get it now, we have a synthetic felt that goes down with synthetic underlayment. That's a reinforced plastic. And it also has a little bit of abrasion to it, so when the guys, when they're working up there working, their feet grab that a little bit better too. Much better product than the felt.
Yeah, well, I bet the guys like it a lot better, especially on them steep roofs. So
they like it better, and we've all seen roofs where the felt's been up there for maybe a day or so, and it starts to ripple up a little bit, where the felt does not. Or, I mean, the synthetic felt does not.
Well, now the synthetic, does that have any kind of better qualities for waterproofing, or I mean, why would one want to use versus the other? Is there something we should be looking for as consumers?
It's like a plastic coating on there. It's almost like a tarp going over underneath your shingles. It's it sheds the water a whole lot better. Doesn't tear while the guys are up there working on it.
So the heat wouldn't get to it like the felt paper. Remember the old felt paper? The heat up there on a dark shingle would deteriorate quicker. And,
right.
You tore off more roofs than you probably care to remember.
Yeah. No, it didn't. That's true. That's exactly what it does. It's a way better product, and it's not that much more. It might cost you another $100, on an average roof to put the felt on. When you're down to the wood and you're stripping everything down to the wood, that's a good time to put all those good things on there. Yeah,
well, there's nothing more nothing more important than if that roof is leaking than the rest of the house is. I do these inspections, and these investors, they want to say, well, where should I start? Well, you better start at the roof. There's no need to start at the foundation, because if it's leaking, you're wasting your money.
Yeah, you don't want to do any interior repairs or fixes your inside if you got a leak until that leak's fixed.
Yeah. Oh, talking about that, I know that this probably shouldn't be in here, but I just got a lead for you. I got to get sent to you. Remind me when we're out of here. I want to jump right in here, if I could, Rick, and ask you about the ventilation, because I'm a builder, and I'm big on the ventilation of attics and the roofing systems. So we got the ridge vents, we got the hood vents, and power vents. To kind of walk through the venting systems, and what is your preference and why?
The ventilation has become really critical in the last few years. It used to be that you buttoned up a roof real tight and the whole house was real tight. Now you're wanting to get these attics where that attic air is changing all the time, and it's real close to the ambient temperature. We like the ridge vent if you have enough ridge. If you have just a regular gable roof, we'll put a ridge vent in probably about 95% of the residential properties that we do. You should have 1 square foot of ventilation per 300 square feet of roof, and that should be divided equally between the ridge and the soffit. And what the way the ridge vent works is it draws the air out of the soffit up through the soffit and exits through the ridge vent, kind of like a chimney flue. And that air is just constantly changing up in that attic. That's what we like. If you have a hip roof, or if you don't have enough area up there, then you really ought to go with a power vent, put a power vent up there, put a solar power vent up there is what we like.
Oh, good point. A solar power vent, right, right. And I don't see many of them up there yet. How long have they been out? I guess for a few years now.
A couple years now. We've put a few of them in. We've had some real good success with them, and then they had literally just run off the sun. It gets hot enough, they kick on and they kick off. So.
Yeah, well, I hate to steal any work from the electrician, but on the same token, hey, how it's hard to get up there to check it, and do any work. And some of them attics are pretty slim up there, pretty skinny, so hard to get into them. So.
Right.
Now, hail damage. We do see a lot of times hood vents, that get beat up. I know that don't really stop them from working, but they sure do look like the dickens. Does hail really bother the ridge vents?
No, probably not from an engineer's point of view, but aesthetically they do. You're looking at that mess up there, and we include ridge vents as well. If you've got a pipe that's running up that's covered by a vent, we'll put a vent back over. But you really don't want to interrupt that flow from the soffit to the ridge unless you have to. And then that's when we'll put the ridge vent or a vent in there, box vent in there over top of a pipe.
Now, so I'm calling it a hood vent, you call it box vent. Yeah. So just so the folks know that we're saying the same thing.
Same thing.
Right.
And you will see, too, like where your shower, your bathroom vent, they'll have it sticking up through a vent. And we'll take that on a ridge vent. We'll cover that hole up and just swing the hose over to the bottom of the ridge vent, let it exit out that way.
Yeah. Now, that's a code issue now for the newer construction, is they always have to have that vented to the exterior. So that's a good point to put out there for the folks to know that. So we kind of tackled a little bit. I know there's a ton more information on that, and we talked a little bit before the show about winter maintenance. It's wintertime. This is great time to talk about this. And you said winter and spring, or just a winter?
Winter, fall, and spring. Really, it's a good time to get us out there. You know, you get out there now, all your leaves from the fall, they're going to be gathering up behind your chimney. They're going to gather up on a dormer where the valley meets the gutter. You'll have a pile of leaves sitting there. And those are the kind of things that you want to get off your roof, or have us come out there and take a peek at. We don't necessarily clean gutters, but we'll get rid of that stuff and take a look at the roof, make sure that those critical areas are tight and nothing's going on with them.
Yeah, especially now it's, we're going to be snow and ice sitting up on top of them. I think it's real important, and especially around your flashing and things, you need to make sure that is tight.
Absolutely.
Because once it starts to leak, it don't get any better.
No, Troy, you know as well as I do, once it does start leaking, it's just a continuous problem. They don't heal themselves.
No. So. But let me ask you, because I know a lot of folks talk about this, or they're starting to become aware of it, I should say, maybe not talk as much, and that is when we get this ice damming, talking about winter time, and the water, it freezes and rolls back up on the roof. And I see a lot of damage. I know you do too. A lot of our damage is actually around the perimeter of the gutter side of our roofs. What are you guys doing to help prevent that with a new roof? I don't know is there anything to do after the roof's up? I don't know.
It's kind of hard to do anything afterwards, but if you get in there while you're putting a new roof on, and we always put call it an ice and water shield in all our valleys. Ice and water shield's a 3-foot wide peel and stick asphaltic material. Mm-hmm. And we'll lay that down in the valleys where you're running up 18 inches up on each side. And then we build our roof over top of that. So there's no nails within a foot of that valley. Mm-hmm. So everything's real tight. If you got an area that was a problem or looks like a problem on the eave part of it or on your gutter end of it, we'll put some ice and water shield there as well. Now, if you get up north, it's required to put your ice and water shield within 2 feet inside of the warm wall. So, and some of our communities around here, like Baldwin, has adapted that as well. So we've got to, when we put a roof on there, we actually have to put ice and water shield all the way around the perimeter, and it has to go 2 feet inside of the warm room. And then build your roof over top of that. That keeps anything that's going to back up or freeze or get work its way back up in there from damage in the roof, damage in the inside of the house.
That's good, and I'm glad that you talked about that, and because I'm a huge believer in that, and I know we used to use all kinds of different kind of wild systems out there, and I've never seen anything work as good as this, at least for right now. It used to be you
double up the felt and try that, but it's really, if you put that ice and water shield in there, and then install drip edge.
Mm-hmm. Talk about drip edge, because I hear some roofers. I don't want to pick on the El Cheapo roofing companies, but they'll go in there and try to sell you folks the cheapest system, and they'll say you don't need the roof ice shield, you don't need the roof edge. Explain to the folks why you do, because I know you do.
Yeah, I mean, some might say you don't, but I'm a firm believer in it. The drip edge is an aluminum edge that comes in a 10-foot stick, and it has a little bit of a cant on it that kicks the water out away from the wood. So when the water rolls over your shingle and rolls back up underneath there, it hits this metal and it drips away from the house. And it's only about a quarter of an inch. It's not much, but the water's not running down that wood, running down your fascia. Mm-hmm. It makes a huge deal in the long run.
Now, do you put that only on the gutter, or you put it only on the gutter ends, or you put it on all the entire perimeter?
We'll put it on the entire perimeter. It's two different products. On the rakes or on the slope part, we'll put drip edge, and then on your eaves or your gutter part, we put what they call gutter apron, and that goes down inside of the gutter. So when water comes around your shingle, it actually drip right into the gutter.
See, folks, that's why I was tickled about Rick coming on board here with this, because I know roofing has a lot of charlatans, may I say. And they're out there and they'll take your money and they're going to give you less of a product. And then you can't understand why that gum thing's leaking in 5 years or so. And we see it all the time. We're talking about like in the flashing around all our protrusions.
Sure.
Talk a little bit about that, because that's a weak spot on these roofs.
It's the devil's in the details on this stuff. And that's where that ice and water shield comes in handy as well. When we do a roof, we strip it down 100%, all the way down to the decking. And when we come back up, we're starting with your ice and water shield. We put that in all the valleys and on the eaves as needed. And then we also put that above any pipe flashing that's coming out of the roof. We wrap the top of that pipe flashing with it. We'll put it around our chimneys or any critical area. We put it down. But when you're replacing all this stuff, you've got to replace it. You don't cut any corners when you're at that point. Just go all out and put your roof on the way the roofer tells you it needs to get done. Mm-hmm. These pipe boots are $8-10 a piece. Don't try to save them. If it's bad, just put it all new on there when you're done. And the same goes with skylights.
Skylights.
Troy and I worked on a skylight job. Where you get up, these skylights are 20 years old. And, the homeowner will want to save the skylights and put a brand new roof on. Now you're putting a brand new roof on with a leak hazard. And unfortunately, when we do that, we tell them there's no warranty on the leaks around the skylights. When you keep your old skylight, put a new one in there. And they're not cheap. But if you have a skylight, it's you want to replace them when you replace your roof.
Well, we got some really great skylights out there now, and with some great flashing and systems are going around it, and we'll talk about that on another because windows and doors in another segment here, another show. Mm-hmm. But absolutely, and I know that it's amazing how many jobs I inspect that them are leaking, and I put the infrared to it, and they might not necessarily see it, but it's coming in, and when I put that infrared on it to test the thermal imaging, you can see it they're soaking wet.
Sure.
And then a lot of folks try to blame it and say, well, just condensation. It's not condensation.
No, some of it might be, but not, when it's leaking, it's leaking.
Well, and a good skylight don't condensate.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah.
Oh, and I know that you guys do a lot of that too. So I know there's a lot more to all of that and the different things with but I wanted to kind of jump over to flat roofs, because I know we got a lot of folks out there, and we got a lot of investors and home investors that come in here and do these multi-family homes in their flat roofs. So, and you are on a system that I've been itching to get out there and do a video on. And we're going to get you out there one of these days. Yeah. But help me out here. Tell the folks the different products that are for the flat roofs and some pros and cons.
Yeah, we've got a product we use, and I guess it's okay to mention the brand names. We use a Gecko product, and it's a 100% silicone product that goes on the roof. We can take an existing roof with minimal tear out and apply this Gecko product, and it's a system, but it comes in a 5-gallon bucket. We put it on with a paint roller or a sprayer.
Really?
And it's like when we're done with this roof, after we clean it, we treat all the extrusions that come out through it, and then we coat it with a silicone product. But when we're done, it's like having a one-piece roof or a monolithic roof. There's no edges, there's no seams, there's no fasteners, and it's one-piece white roof.
Does that, can you put it over the existing roofing system, or do you have to take it all the way back down to the substrate or the bare wood or metal, whatever it may be?
You can put it right over the existing roof. We prefer to do it that way with minimal tear out. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've got a low spot, we'll build that low spot up and then cover it with some roofing material and then coat over top of that. But the less you tear out, the better. This works on a lot of our old buildings down the city where you get up on these buildings, 150-year-old roof. If you get up on your parapet walls and you start tearing roofing off, you're going to expose all those bad brick. We can go ahead and coat that existing roof itself with the silicone product. Now, when we're done, when you get this roof, it should qualify for the EPA's Energy Star. There's an
Good point.
There's an 86% reflectivity on here. The cooling bills just dropped dramatically.
Ah, well, I'm going to start telling everybody more about these, and I really do want to get out there with you when you get a chance to do some of that, because I just think this is I think it's one of the better ideas I've seen out there.
This is a nice product. I mean, when you're done, it's like it's almost like the texture of a tennis shoe sole over top of the whole roof with no seams or edges on it.
So does that also make it, because with environmental issues today and tearing roofs off, a lot of these guys, it's sad. I see a lot of these roofers out there, they're just tearing these things up and they're not doing any kind of environmental issues. Sounds like what you're doing is not only, environmentally safe also, right?
It is. There's no tear off. When there's no tear off, there's no dumpster on site. We don't have a smelly tar pot heating up in the front. There's no big equipment. Our equipment is pretty much down to a pressure washer and or a power broom, and then the guys are putting in our pump itself. And if it's not a real big job, we'll put it down with a 9-inch roller, like a paint roller. So there's no noise. The building can be occupied while we're there. You don't have to block things off. There's nothing overhead. We're not no heavy equipment being hoisted, anything up there. We get the product on the roof in 5-gallon buckets and go to work.
What kind of warranties does this have on them now?
The manufacturer will give a 50-year product warranty.
50.
50.
Wow.
And they've been around, Gecko's been around since 1954.
Right.
And Firestone actually bought them out last year. So they're when they say they're 50-year warranty, it's good. If you get onto a commercial building where we have 10,000 square feet or more, then they can also give you a labor warranty as well. And that's a 10-year labor material warranty. Anything happens within the first 10 years, they'll pay us to go back out there and put more product on it.
Wow. Now, I know that there's a lot of variables when I ask you for price, but what approximately, range can we be looking for the cost of this product installed?
You're right around $350 to $450 a square foot, depending on the size of the building.
Okay. Well, that's not bad.
No, it's a good price. It's about a third of the cost of a new roof, and then you get a 10-year warranty out of it.
Yeah,
we did a job last year at 17,000 square foot roof, and we literally took 68 degrees off the roof.
Wow!
When we hit it with our digital thermometer, we were at 158 degrees in the untreated, 98 degrees on the treated part, where they had to come in and reset the HVAC system.
Yeah. Oh, I know folks love that.
Oh, it was nice. We had the people below us were complaining that we did something to the air conditioning. People are breaking out jackets and coats in the middle of the summertime. And I said, we just literally took out 68 degrees out of your attic. That's what we did.
Wow. Well, I'm going to start preaching this because I want to learn more about it myself, because I actually, until I met you, I didn't even know, and I'm a commercial inspector, and I've not seen this product out there. And if I did, I probably maybe didn't know what I was looking at, because this sure isn't any of our, teaching that education product. I'd like to learn more about it myself. And I know the folks would probably like to give you a call and have you talk to them about it and educate them.
We'd love to talk to them. And if you show up, just bring your old boots and we'll show you how to put stuff down.
Oh, well, hey, I'll get, you know what? I just might have to do that, At least I could be like this old house, Well, I better not be saying that, but I could pretend I'm doing it, huh?
Sure.
That's all they ever did. Anyway, that's great. So what are some of the other products that are out there for the roofing? Because I know that a lot of folks have a lot of things already going on out there, and I know we see some of these products like that white roofing that they have on roll roofing, and how it buckles so bad, and and venting, and just I've never seen anything that was on a flat roof that was, I don't know, something that you could depend on.
Something that looks nice. Yeah, the typical rolled roofing now, it's not like the old roofing, rolled roofing. It's a self-adhering roofing, peel and stick material, and they're good products. CertainTeed puts some good products out where you lay it out. You got to put a 75-pound roll over top of the material as you're going to get it down. And they look okay on a residential property. We'll do that a lot on a back porch sometimes, or you'll have anything less than 212 pitch. We can't put shingles on it.
Right.
We'll put the SA roofing on there. Or if it's, we'll put some of this Gecko product on there.
Yeah, actually, it sounds good. I mean, that sounds. I'm a firm believer in what you're saying to that. That sounds like that is no seams. When I hear no seams, all of a sudden now and no cleanup and no mess and. That is great. Well, we're going to have to do more investigating into that, and you're going to have to keep on teaching us and doing some videos with us to show the world out there what we got.
Yep.
So, well, this is we're going to head to the end of the show here a little bit, so I'm going to hit with you a couple of that fast things. So I know you do a lot of insurance type work, and if so folks have a problem, kind of walk them through what you do with that.
Sure.
How you can help
I've been, I've worked in the insurance industry for on and off for 35 years. I'm a carpenter by trade. When work was slow here in town, I would get on board with an insurance company and go work a storm as an insurance adjuster. So I understand policy. I know insurance policy. I know how that system works. But we like to say we work with the insurance companies, not against them. Mm-hmm. And I'll get on a roof, and I'll tell the customer if there's no damage on that roof, to call us at a different time. We're not the company that gets on a roof and screams, "Oh, the insurance company's going to buy a new roof." But the policies they're complicated. What they cover, the language that they use in them, the estimating programs that they use, and we've got all that. We use the exact same program that they use. It's called Xactimate. We know all of the lingo that the insurance companies use. Most of the adjusters like us. They get out, they know that we're not the cheerleaders. I call them cheerleaders on the roofing industry, where we're going to get out there and just show them what we've got. If we call them out, there's an issue with that roof. And even when you get onto a roof with these estimating programs, some of the items that they have don't pay enough. Skylights is a big one, where we've got documentation so that this is what it does cost. So we work with these guys hand in hand. They call us on a regular basis. We call them on a regular basis, and we get along good with them. But we're the guys that when we come in and we say that the roof's damaged, it is going to be damaged. And when we measure stuff up, we measure to the T. We don't gouge. We don't try to add things onto it. We don't take care of deductibles. Everybody says that it's a free deductible. It's actually against the law.
Good point.
Senate Bill 101 passed in 2012. It makes it illegal for a contracting company or roofing contractor to negotiate or give away the deductible. So we don't do that. We abide by the rules, and they appreciate that as well.
I bet they do. Well, so when you do my last question is that when you're doing a shingle job, now how do you work this out with your customer? I know, and tell the folks what they can expect as the proper procedures from shingle drop off to final cleanup.
When we get the job, when we sign the contract, if it's an insurance job, we can typically figure it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks for everything to be finalized, to get your final payment on there. We'll set it up where our shingles are delivered rooftop, if we can. They'll stack them on the roof for us. We don't like them up there too long, so typically the following day or 2 days later, we'll have our crew show up. We bring a dumpster to the job site, and the majority of our roofs are done in a day. We'll completely strip them down to the wood, build them back up in 1 day. If you start getting over 40 square in the roof, then we might get into 2 days, or if the roof's steep or cut up, it might take us an extra day or two to get it done. Then we bring a rubber tire dumpster, so we don't have the big steel box sitting on your driveway.
Good point.
We protect the property with tarps, and when we're done, we recycle the shingles. They go to a company called St. Louis Shingle Recycling, and they'll grind these shingles up and they'll mix them with asphalt and use them on our parking lots and our streets. It's pretty green, as green as we can get in the industry. But it's we're in and out of there. Usually, you'll see us on site 1 day, then we're done. When we're done, while we're there, the place is a mess. We own your property for a day or 2 days. It's just tarps are everywhere, men are everywhere, equipment's going off, the guns, the handles, the shingles. But when we're done, all you get is a brand new roof.
That's awesome. Well, I know that means a lot to the people, the recycling, the green, but ultimately not having nails in the yard. How many times have we heard that complaint over the years from other lesser contractors? But that's what happens, when you get when you get an El Cheapo versus a professional company.
You'll get companies that will throw all the shingles right onto the ground. We never do that. If we have to hit the ground, we throw them on a tarp, but we typically try to throw them right into the dumpster. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the day, everybody gets a magnet. And they go around with roller magnets and pick up nails or anything that might be around. So when we're done, we get a lot of jobs from our cleanup. Mm-hmm. People compliment us, and they couldn't believe how clean the job was during and after the installation.
Well, Rick, I thank you for coming on the show with us here today. Folks, I tell you what, you got to give Rick a call with Eureka Contracting and Roofing, and they will take care of you. It's just that important to get quality when you just don't cheap out when you come in. Rick's not even that high. There's a lot of these other fellows out there, these radio TV companies, we say that they're extremely high. Rick's not even close to that, and you're going to get twice the service. Why? Because the owner of the company, Rick Hinkson, literally has been in the trenches right along in there, so he knows the BS from the quality. Right on. All right, Rick. Well, hey, tell them your phone number and how best ways of finding more about you, like through if you got a Facebook or webpage. Tell the folks how they can learn more about you.
I appreciate that a lot. And it's Eureka Contracting and Roofing. Our phone number is 636-938-ROOF, and that's 7663.
Repeat that one more time for the folks.
636-938-ROOF or 7663.
That's great.
All right. We're also, we've got a website out there, and that's www.eurekacontracting.com. And we have a little bit of a presence on Facebook as well.
Good deal. Well, people, I want you to, like I said, this is going to be out here on YouTube. This is out here on podcasts. You can listen to it over and over again. Share it with your friends. Make sure that you listen to this show before you hire anybody, whether you hire Rick or not, because you need to know what he shared with you here today, and that way you can know the quality from from the wannabes. And Rick doesn't have a tail light warranty, meaning that when his tail lights are gone, the warranty expires. He's been around for a long time. And so if you got a problem, which sometimes that happens, rarely, but sometimes you got the man to call. Oh, fabulous. Well, Rick, thank you for coming on. Hey, folks, this is Troy Galloway, your humble host, owner of Galloway Building Services. And if you ever need an inspection done on your, whether you're buying or selling a property, or you've got a construction job going on, or you got some expert witnessing or, conflict issues, give us a call. We'd love to be a service to you, too. Our phone number is 314-520-6655. And you can also find us out on Facebook under Galloway Building Services. We got a fabulous web page under www.Galloway Building Services, and check us out, and we'd love to have a chance to talk with you. We answer a lot of questions. Even if it's just a question, give us a holler. All right, folks. Well, thank you very much, Rick, and thank you for Joey for helping us with this show, and we will catch you folks on the flip side.
Sponsored by Troy Galloway and Galloway Building Services, your top choice for professional home inspections in the St. Louis area. GallowayBuildingServices.com.